Hey everyone, welcome to day 4 of the tournament. I can still count, that's good. I'm here with Ketrock.
Hey guys.
Welcome, Ketrock. Thank you very much for coming on again. I'm feeling better than I was yesterday when I had to hand the reins over to you in Yatahunt because my voice was terrible. But it's still like a little bit bad. So,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling a lot better than I was yesterday, which is good.
As long as you can make it through one stream.
Yeah, I'm
You can
sure I
put it to
can.
rest.
We had some fun games yesterday. That was probably the most straightforward group we've had so far, though, I think.
Yeah. I mean, on paper it was surprisingly close.
Yeah,
All his matches were pretty tight games.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that was a
definitely.
nice surprise because I thought it was gonna be a clear 1-2-3. And it ended up being that
It
one, two,
was.
three, but it wasn't as clear
Yeah,
in the way it
Ben,
played out.
Benbot BC had some a real go against -0, which was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Um, let's take a quick look at how that's shaping up so far. So yeah, -0 with the 2-0. Mbot BC also making it through from that group, and Small Bly sadly eliminated. Today we have Eris, Sharpened Edge, and Anibot, which should be some fun.
Yeah, a little bit closer on paper. I think Annie and Sharpened Edge are pretty close in power level, with Eris being the probably the favorite in the group.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. So Anibot's first pot finished 10th in the regular season, with 1,824. Win rate 46, which I don't think is kind of like fair because Anibot was winning a lot against higher bots, and I did notice that it did actually have a reasonable win rate against Eris, which was surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a lower. Well, this is for rank 10, so it doesn't apply. But once you get down to like rank 16, the win rates are going to be a little bit off because it depends if you're dropping between divisions or not.
Yeah,
When you're in the lower division, you might up your win rates, but it's against lower ELO opponents.
yeah, but
ELO
he's
is what really matters.
yes, definitely. So next up is one of the stalwarts of the scene, Sharpened Edge. He finished 7th in the regular season, which is actually the lowest it's finished in a regular season since we started doing the Sc2AI arena. Actually, since I think season 9. So
Yeah, which is still crazy impressive because I believe that bot's just had like minor updates, just to like little tweaks here and there. It's both mostly been an untouched bot, I think, for like
yeah,
well over a year, maybe multiple years, and it's still holding up at the top of the ladder.
yeah, it's still it goes to show how good the fundamentals of that bot are. That it's still as high as it is.
Hmm.
And of course, a final bot for the evening is Eris by Team Eris, which is Rasper and Paul. Um, Top of the league in the regular season. Elo 21-59. Yeah,
Nice.
there we go. The
Yeah.
clear favourite today, I think.
Yeah. Eris is a powerhouse. I haven't been following the ladder too much recently, but I assume with two authors, it's still actively even getting better than this first place position where it was at the end of the last season. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah, definitely a
definitely,
scary bot to face.
absolutely. Yeah, it's clear favourite, I'd say, today, but obviously Sharpened Edge and Anibot are going to be scrapping it out, and it's not going to be easy by any means. So
Yeah. But I mean,
uh,
if Eris does have a problem, it is probably Protoss, I would think. I mean,
yes,
at least in past tournaments, I've noticed he's had issues with like tier and
yeah,
Sharky bots, and like he's had issues with Protosses before. And then Antibot, I think is an active author, so you never know what crazy
yeah,
stuff he'll pull out. Maybe he'll find something, a chink in the armor of Eris. You never know.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
having a look at some of the win rates for bot versus bot, and I did notice that Anibot is definitely capable of pulling out wins against both of these oppositions. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Anyway, I guess we better get on with our first game.
Yeah, let's hop right
Uh,
into it.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm good to go.
Okay, going in 3, 2, 1, go. Want to do intros?
Sure. So spawning in the top left, so we have the king himself, the number one bot. It is Red Zerg. It is Eris. And spawning in the bottom right, we have the blue Terran, the underdog. It is Anibot. And he's saying it's going to be a 2-base push, which he's 25% confident about, which is a really high percentage when it comes to playing Eris, I would say.
Yes. I mean, as far as like playing against Eris, if you got a 25% chance of winning, I think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like the good old days where like when Micro Machines said he didn't have a 100% chance of winning based on his rudimentary database. That was like a good thing. It's like, wow, not 100%. Wow. It must be a strong bot.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a hatch first out of Eris and a Depot Barracks out of Anibot.
Yeah. So
looks like he's going for a gasless fast expand based on his current resources.
Yeah, I think we see the SCV going out to build right now. So yeah, pretty typical build out of both of these bots, I think.
Can you let me know what time you're at, just so I can figure out what the stream delay is at?
122.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah.
All right, so pool, delete pool, no gas on the way. Is this going to be a fast third? It is a fast third out of Eris.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really greedy opening. So pool is only just like about 3/4 finishing. So that's not going to be finished in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. If you face good Reaper control, it can become a problem as you won't have speed on your Zerglings for quite a while.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's actually not as unsafe as you would think for Zerg.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be droning up all these bases. You can just use it for extra larva production if you're facing an all-in.
Yeah. So his Overlord does get away. I'm wondering if, like, why the Marines aren't chasing that all the way back. I guess there's probably some code in there to say, don't leave your own base in case there's like 20 Zerglings about to rip your head off.
Yeah. When you're in defense mode, just defend your bases. Don't go walking out into the middle of the map.
Yeah.
I guess something like that.
So
which makes sense if you want to stay near your wall or stay near your bunker, but these Marines are kind of out in the open anyways, so if you're going to be out in the open, might as well go walking out in the middle of the map as well.
Yeah, so there's 3 racks here from Anibot. And finally we get a factory.
Yeah, interesting build. Interesting when you went 2 Marines into a Reaper. I guess he just didn't have the gas for the Reaper, but the Reaper usually used as a scout or an early game tool versus slow Zerglings. In this case, it's going to be used on defense, which doesn't have too much logic versus Zerg, but yeah, why not?
Yeah. So neither of these bots are really the fastest, most aggressive bots we have.
Well, I mean, we are seeing aggression out of Anibot. It's going to be slow as he's, you know, pulling up like 2 base economy first, but with 3 barracks already down, he's not going to be taking a fast third or anything like that. This is a plenty of production to spend all of his money.
Yeah.
So we could see a big bio push coming here.
Yeah, I think that's probably on the way.
Yeah, Overlord's getting a good scout of it, however. Does see the 3 barracks. Not sure if there's anything in Eris to care about, whether there's 3 barracks this early in the game or not. But for a human, that would be raising alerts.
Certainly you'd be worried at that point.
Let's
see. Yeah. So they did chase the Zerglings out a little bit. And, yeah. Eris now taking a 4th.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 4v2 bases. Anibot probably needs to get something done pretty soon.
Well, the 4th base is actually probably a good thing for Anibot. He's kind of committing to this timing attack, so the more Eris spends on his economy, the less likely he is to hold this timing.
Yeah.
However, that does mean he does have to get a lot of work done when he does this push. Otherwise, he's just going to be too far behind economically.
Yeah. He's already 20 workers down, so
he's going to have combat shield and concussive shell done. Now, stim is nowhere near even started, so it won't be a part of this attack. Yeah. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, without any medivacs, overstimming is probably more of a problem than not stimming at all.
Combat shield is always a good thing. Stim is something that requires good decision making, which, as we know, bots aren't always the best at doing.
Yeah.
Eris, I think, is trying to stop Anibot from expanding to his own main base by pooping creep on his orbital, which is interesting.
Yeah. That's interesting tactic. I guess it
Yeah.
stops the Venbot BC tactic, which we saw yesterday, which was placing a supply depot in your mineral line. But I'm not sure why you'd want to stop it, but
Anibot catching 4 units in his Reaper Grenade. Unfortunately, all 4 were his own units. I'd really like to see Anibot push out now. Like, this timing window is disappearing quickly.
yeah. You're still looking at kind of like a 25 worker difference here now. So
Yeah.
and
So
it's 5 bases to 2 still.
like if he doesn't go in like the next 30 seconds, I'd almost be ready to call this game. It's that serious. Like,
Yeah.
It's because things are getting out of hand on the other side of the map, and it's getting to the point where he may not even have a bigger economy at some point, because that economy or he won't even have a bigger army at some point, because
Yeah.
the economy for Eris is having plenty of time to kick in.
He does at the moment have a bigger army supply, and I mean, the Zerglings are pretty supply efficient, so yeah.
Is he just chasing, or is he finally attacking?
No, it looks like he's pushing out.
Okay, that's good
going
news.
on to creep. So he really needs to do some serious damage here.
A lot of Marines got pulled away in the south. It would really be nice to have that with the attack, because Marauders are not what you want versus Zerglings and Hydralisks. They're terrible units versus both those.
Yeah. It does look like he's managing to kite pretty well, though.
Yep, and Stim is complete. I guess he did wait for Stim.
Yeah. Yeah, so he does actually finish off this entire army here. And now he's pretty much got free reign, like...
Yeah, and so much of his army's at home, though. He seems to get... Yeah, here comes the Hellions back.
Yeah.
The Marines are still idling.
But nothing...
Yeah, but with Medivacs and the trickle of Zerg units, he's not really facing any permanent damage.
Yeah.
So the supply lead is just... he's just keeping it, even though he has his army split up. And now he's finally getting on top of the economy, shutting down the mining at the 3rd base. Yeah. Hellions getting some drone kills. And this is exactly what he needs.
Yeah.
One more base and we can call it like even. And then if he does damage beyond that, he might go on to win the game.
Yeah, so it's... Looks like this 3rd base is going to go down. And... Yeah. So it's beginning to siphon off a few of those drones as well to close that worker lead.
Yeah, looking quite good. 3rd base will definitely be going down, and yep, there it goes.
I mean, you're better off going into the natural now, I guess. Just try and push it all the way up. Take out the tech buildings for Zerg.
I mean, any type of attack is a good idea, as long as you're not retreating.
Yeah.
Because he still needs to do more damage.
Those corrosive biles, though, are crazy good.
Yeah, some of them are hitting quite well. Medivacs, there's 4 of them, but they're all dried out at the moment, so these corrosive biles are doing basically permanent damage.
Yeah, those Medivacs energy do not return very quickly. So it looks like this army is going to get cleared up. I think, maybe.
Except there's mutas now. And against Hellions, Marauders, and Medivacs, I'm not hearing a unit that shoots mutas in that composition.
No.
And siege tanks. 2 Marines have arrived. Most of the Marines are still, like, I guess just kind of hanging out at home, but more Marines on the way. I guess he's upped his Marine production now. He's seen the Mutalisks.
So Anibot does say several air units have been detected, so he's building Vikings. So that would be a good answer to that.
Yeah, that'll be helpful as well. Units Lost Tab is just insanely good for Anibot. Eris is not able to build up an army again, just kind of like trickling them to death, and that's resulting in a 3-to-1 almost Units Lost Tab, 2.5-to-1.
Yeah. Or is this muted have got on top of the tank, but just flown straight by it? Okay.
I don't know why there's medevacs in the north, but I may have missed something. Perhaps a drop went into the main base.
Possibly.
Or maybe just mutas pushed them away all the way up there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing inside them, so...
So the one thing I'm not liking is that Anibot's not getting on top of any more bases. He's still killing army at really good pace, but you really want to take out at least one more mining base or go for the throat. Kind of hang out in the middle is not exactly the place you want to be.
Yeah. What I would say at the moment is that Annie now has a third base up and running and mining, and has pretty much closed the work lead and actually has a slight worker advantage now. So, yeah.
Fourth on the way as well.
Yeah. So whereas before, where Eris was able to replace the units faster than Annie, now it's almost the opposite way around.
I mean, this tank position is nice. He's like got nice eyes on that ramp as they come down the ramp, but man, it'd be nice if he just got some bio up there and then just pushed into another base soon.
Yeah.
Especially as we've seen, well, it's been going back a ways. Probably I'm talking about Spiny rather than Eris, but we've seen Rasper, we'll say, get knocked back really far by Terran and then get to Broodlord tech, and then everything just turns around at that point.
Yeah.
And we do have a... actually, we don't have a hive. We only have a lair. Okay, so that's not going to happen anytime soon.
No. Broodlords are generally a really good unit in the bot world, I think.
Yeah, especially if you're spacing bio tank. Tanks start shelling their own bio units. Bio can't get on top of the Broodlords.
Yeah, they kind of do the same job as Tempests, except they've got more DPS, and yeah. I don't know. Do they outrange Tempest? They don't really, do they?
Do what outrange Tempest?
Broodlords. They're not fighters. No.
No, Tempest versus air, they have 15 range, which is insane. Yeah. Only 10 versus ground. Which is still a lot, but it's also a lot less than 15.
Yes.
Yeah, Tempests are... They actually got buffed. They got a plus massive damage they have, and that was specifically to make them Broodlord killers.
Yeah.
Back in an era where Broodlords were a big issue for Protoss.
Yeah. So, Eris is looking to take out the fourth.
Yeah, but nice little position here. Finally have all these units in the back are helping Annie back quite a bit, because now he's taking 2 good fights instead of 1.
Now, there's lots going on everywhere on this map.
Yeah, and still those like handful of siege tanks, which is down to 1 tank now, but still keeping an eye on that ramp.
Yeah.
He does have 3 Ravagers there, which is enough to pop that tank if he wants to.
I think the difficulty is getting in range, because I think Annie has vision on that, so getting those Ravagers in range without actually taking a bunch of tank shots is a problem, but there it does go down now.
Well, if you walk all 3 in and then bile and walk all 3 back, I think you only take 1 shot in the process.
Yeah.
And there goes the tank finally, but some reinforcements have arrived at the same time, so... Yeah, second tank does go down. Nice biles out of Eris.
Yeah. That's one thing that a lot of the bots have really improved on recently is the bile play.
Yeah. And no matter how good, no matter how high the APM of a bot is, you can't dodge biles with siege tanks and sieged up liberators. You know, if you got a stationary target, it's just perfect for the biles.
Yeah.
Same with anything, any structure. Really good on cannons, shield batteries, anything that's undodgeable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very difficult even with bots to pick up a photon cannon and move it, which I think is a major disadvantage of Protoss.
Anibot is attempting to clear out the north base for himself, and also taking the 3 o'clock base at the same time.
Yeah, the difficulty for Annie at the moment is all of these places have a whole lot of creep tumors around, and creep is just everywhere.
Yeah. So Eris did get things back under control. He's got an army again, so he won't be like just bleeding units to Anibot. And this is the point where you'd say like the game might be over, but also during that time we have Antibot expanding all over the map himself. So
Yeah.
now we just got like a solid late game setup here with two really rich opponents.
Yeah, certainly. If you look at just the numbers on the board at the moment, you'd have to say Annie was definitely in the lead. 20 worker lead and, you know, about 30 army lead as well. So, but
yeah, and way ahead on units lost and good economy. Yeah, everything's
yeah,
going well.
yeah. So it's
But at least
definitely
Eris has an army, so if he takes good
yes,
fights, which he can with an actual army, then things will turn around for him. Okay, so he's taking a fight. Tanks are unsieged, but a good amount of bios makes it's not a big difference. And actually, unsieged tanks isn't the worst thing when you're facing Ravager piles.
yeah.
At least it ensures you can back up.
There's a really good concave here for Anibot though. Oh no, he's getting taken down. There was. But yeah, he's definitely got the surround here from coming in from two sides.
Yeah. But a lot of Marines versus Hydras is so good for the Marines.
Yeah.
You get those upgrades, the stim, the medevacs. And Hydras are basically glass cannons. You want something in front of them soaking up the damage.
Yeah.
And Eris is really good with that. When he loses his Zerglings, he pulls back, waits for the next wave of Zerglings before he goes in again with his Hydras.
Yes.
It looks like he's going to be able to probably mop up this attack.
Yeah.
I say probably because I just realized I'm ahead of the stream.
I mean,
try to keep the suspense going. He does mop up the attack though.
I mean, you say that, but like, there's more and more units all the time coming in from Annie. Like,
yeah.
I mean, one thing that Annie doesn't really do is he doesn't really have like a constant attack, move back. He'll just kind of like keep going and keep going and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But,
yeah. A couple of tanks on the high ground there would have been so good for these fights.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of those really advanced things that'd be hard to do is like find optimal terrain positions for tanks and when you're taking fights and stuff.
I guess it's the kind of thing you could hard code, but it'd be very, very difficult because, you know, it's like you'd have to basically set a bunch of different positions for the tank that could go in and just try and get the bot to choose the best of them. But
yeah, well, I mean, finding high ground positions near ramps, I guess, wouldn't be hard to code, but
yeah,
you know, when to like set up shop there and when to continue forward. I don't know. I could just see. I'm pretty sure if I coded it, it would end up just being an absolute mess. It would work like 1 out of 3 times, and the other 2 out of 3 times it would just be terrible.
Yeah.
A lot of Zerglings going down for free, which is always good news. But yeah, there were some good fights there for Eris, which is exactly what he needed. He's still on layer tech himself, however. So that scary Eris late game is not on the way, and we have battle cruisers, which are going to
oh, this is going to be nasty.
Yeah.
I guess like there's some Hydras in there, so they're not going to get free reign certainly, but they can get a lot of damage done.
Yeah, but BCs are pretty good versus Hydras. Hydras are not like BC killers. They shoot up, which is nice.
Yeah.
But the Corruptors are the real BC killers, which there's 0 of.
Yeah.
Problem is the BCs are slow, and they're trying to chase mutas, which are not slow, which means they're not doing a whole lot of anything at the moment.
Yeah. So I think they'd be better off with the main army and just kind of trying to fight with everything else, which they are doing now. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot more damage versus ground. They're really an air-to-ground unit, which is why they're nice versus Hydras, even though Hydras shoot up. And like I said, Hydras are kind of glass cannons, so yeah, just picking off so many Hydras with these BCs and barely taking any damage on them so far, even after killing like 12, 15 Hydras.
Yeah.
This could be like a death push for Annie if he sticks with it.
Oh yeah, it looks like a lot of the army from Eris is going down, and Eris currently has about half the army supply of...
so many fights going on in different places. It's like spanning like the entirety of the map, even in a Raven attacking a base in the south.
yeah, there's a small group up here attacking this base. Yeah, like I
Yeah, I
said,
mean, the
it's all
Zerglings are
Raven
doing
there.
well versus Marauders for the most part, but nothing's contesting the battle cruisers as of yet. And
Yeah, but
yeah, now Eris is back to trickle mode. He's lost the entirety of his army, and they're fighting in like small packs again.
yeah,
That's one thing
there's
where Eris may not be the best Zerg bot is in the decision of when to attack. I know Zoe has pretty good code for, hey, I don't have enough army. Let me
yeah,
wait back. Let me wait until I pull up a significant force before I engage.
yeah. It's one thing as well that like bots like Eris and other top bots do is like they always learn from other bots, even if it's not like uh, generally contesting them. They always pick up different tactics and make themselves stronger. So
Yeah, this is going incredibly well for Anibot.
yeah,
Actually taking out the 2 north bases, putting Eris back to 4 bases, 2 of which are not
well,
mining. And even
yeah,
the base in the south appears that it's going to be under harass from a handful of Marines and a Raven.
yeah. I mean, he could basically come and take out this base in the 9 o'clock position for free as well if he wanted to.
The funny thing is, I don't even think Anibot's attempting to attack the base in the lower left. I think he's trying to
Yeah.
clear out the creep so he can expand there. That's why
Ah.
it's just Marines and a Raven. That's his like creep clearing squad.
Yeah.
And he's accidentally killing the most important
I
mining base
mean,
of Eris.
accidents happen, right? You know. All right, just 12 army supply. This is almost GG here, I think.
Yeah,
I'm almost tempted just to, call it, but let's leave it a few seconds just to.
yeah, only because it's Eris.
Yeah. If this was any other bot, I would have called it by now, but
But what's this? Yeah,
yeah,
let's bring up the income tab. Well, he's bringing 1,200 minerals a minute, which is a little bit, but that's not
yeah,
enough to deal with 4 BCs.
no.
And I say you need corruptors for BCs, but there's also, 10 plus Vikings supporting the battle cruisers, so not an easy job for corruptors either. He's got the right support units.
There's literally no income now for Eris after taking down this base. I'm going to call it GG,
Yeah,
guys.
so.
We have an upset on our hands. Anibot taking the first game. Unless he crashes, which I hope not. Well, as I say that.
Yeah, I was kind of worried that, A, he's facing Eris, and B, that his 2-base timing attack was so late. Like, I thought he missed his window. But yeah, you take a good fight versus Eris and remove his army when you got army remaining, and you can just kind of keep that army advantage for forever, which is what Annie did. Just kind of camping outside the natural and just destroying like nonstop waves of Zerg.
Yeah, and like
Like
taking
something
that
out of the
fight,
cinematic.
and you just kind of like sit there and go, right, okay, you're not. This is my area now. You're not coming through. But yeah, eventually getting the win. That's brilliant. Um, so
Yeah.
I think Yato was saying that Eris is now trying to avoid getting Benbot BC. I'm not entirely convinced of that. But yeah,
That's a good game.
so
My one tip I would have for Annie is that it looked like he had the timing to go with combat shield and concussive shell finishing at the same time, but he didn't go. So I think he was waiting for stim. And if you want to wait for stim, then stim should be your first upgrade because it's the longest one. Have the one tech lab do stim, have the other tech lab do combat shield and concussive shell. So I think it's important with that build to attack earlier. You don't want to be on 2 bases that long.
Yeah, there was a time there when I think Eris had like a 30 worker advantage and 5 base to 2, but just didn't have the army, obviously. So getting that army up earlier, I think, would make that death push so much stronger.
Yeah, and if Eris was a little bit like if Eris noticed, hey, he's only on 2 bases, maybe I shouldn't expand to 6 myself. If I expand to 4, that's plenty. If you stuck to 4 bases, then you would have had a giant army by the time that timing attack came out of Annie.
Cool. All right, I'm good to go with game 2. If you are.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so spawning in the top right, we have the surprise bot up 1-0. It is the Blue Terran Anibot. And in the bottom left, you can never count him out as he is the #1 bot. It is the Red Zerg. It is Eris. And
Yes.
Anibot is switching up the strategy, going with a 1-1-1 opener this time rather than the 2-base push.
Yeah.
He does say he's 25% confident, and thus far we've seen evidence that 25% means 100%. So,
Yep. Absolutely. 25% confidence is definitely a good thing. So again, it looks like Eris is going for the hatch first.
mm-hmm.
And is he going to go for 3 hatch before a spawning pool, which he did last time?
Yeah, I get the impression that Eris doesn't switch things up very much. Yeah, so he's going for the 3 hatch. So my 7 racks Marine all in I do is actually a direct response to seeing Eris do this, where he just goes 3 hatcheries before he takes a gas. And it didn't work. So even though he opens that greedy, it's still hard to all in him. He'll scout it. He'll like cancel the hatchery. He'll build spine crawlers. He's got things worked out in the early game.
Yeah, I think like possibly then it might be better to proxy those, but then Eris always checks everywhere for proxies as well. So
yeah, he's looking for proxies.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy thing to do. That's why he's top of the ladder.
Yeah, Eris has figured out probably the two most difficult things with making a Zerg bot. One is not dying to all-ins while still trying to drone up really hard, which takes a lot of decision making that Eris can handle. Yeah. And 2 is the late game of Zerg. We didn't get to see it last game, but he's a god when it comes to using like Vipers and Infestors and static defense farms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the spore farms, that's the ones.
Okay, so we did get a Reaper first this time. He's heading across the maps. This, depending on the control, can be really nice, as there's really nothing that can kill the Reaper. Without Zergling's speed, he can just be shooed away by Queens, but obviously being much faster than Queens, he could keep this harass going basically forever.
Yep. See if you can get any drones out of it. At the moment, it's mainly just scouting. But
really weird micro out of the Reaper in that it queues up commands. Like he has every movement command has multiple other movement commands queued up if you like highlight the Reaper.
Yeah. That's a weird one.
Yeah, I wonder what the purpose of that is.
Normally, you only see it do one command at a time. Scouting complete, according to Anibot, but I can tell you your scouting is not complete.
Well, he did get a full view of the main and natural, which is nice.
Yeah. So
I do like that he prefers to go for the scout. This is an issue that human players have too. They think Reapers are for killing drones, so then they lose a Reaper and don't scout anything. The Reaper's primary role is to get the scout.
Yeah.
And if you can kill a drone, that's just bonus.
So,
yeah, this is a 1-base 1-on-1. He did not build a natural during that process.
I mean, like, his 2-base all-in was fairly intense. If he goes early on this 1-base all-in, this could be even better. We could see our first upset.
Yeah. I mean, with the new modern economies where you start with 12 workers, it's kind of 1-base all-ins are kind of non-existent nowadays. But it can work. You can catch him off guard, I guess. And here he's going. No, or maybe he's just reacting to the Zergling.
Oh, I think that's the scout from Eris that's going to tell him. Okay. No, he is building the base. It's a bit late.
Okay, please be going. Okay, he's going. So this is a much more better timed attack, I think. If you're going to be doing a 1-base build, this is when you want to be hitting.
Yeah.
Although
you probably don't want to be
still
chasing
unsure
Zerglings.
if he's hitting or if he's just chasing a Zergling. What happens after the Zergling dies? Is he going to go back home?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He is.
Oh, no. So we've got Zerglings coming across the map from Eris as well.
Yeah, which I guess is good for Anibot because he's the one who wants to be aggressive. Which means if the opponent's going to be throwing away Zerglings, that's good for Annie.
Yeah.
And an armory with a armory upgrade. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. It's like it's a 1-base all-in, but then you skip the all-in and you turn it into a macro game.
Yeah. It's not the greatest of builds, I would say, but we probably turn this into a win. I don't know.
Certainly is getting a free tank, which is always nice.
Oh no. It's not good for Manny.
Yeah, in a really
And another free tank, yeah.
Down 22 workers, you know, down 2 bases.
Yeah, and this time I don't think he's even got the army to back it up.
Yeah. The problem with one base nowadays is that since you start with 12 workers, you saturate your main base so quickly.
Yeah.
That, you know, basically your command center becomes pointless. So like producing more SCBs becomes pointless really early in the game. So you want to usually get to at least 2 bases so you can got something to saturate while you're building up to your all in.
Yeah, it's can work with Protoss certainly, but more difficult with Terran. I wonder how. I think this push might get some serious damage done here from Eris.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have to get damage done. He's like in such a good spot here.
Yeah.
What was he shooting with those?
I don't know.
There's nothing there.
Weird, yeah. Like unless it was just something to see if it was like the scouting overlord from the Terran, maybe.
I'm going to back up because I just want to see what it is. You can keep the stream going on your side.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing there. Maybe that's like the last time you saw a medevac was there or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if Raspa's in chat. Maybe can comment on it, or Paul.
That would be hilarious if it was a cleaning bot.
Yeah.
Not just kill the cleaning bot, but use biles on it.
I mean, I would. Those things are nasty, man.
They are annoying.
Yeah. I see the meme with the Simpsons one, where Mo is chucking the cleaning bot out, saying "Get out!" and there's another one standing right behind. Oh.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess we're going to be relying on Anibot taking an amazing fight again, and then Eris bleeding units. Like, it's going to have to be something like that for him to get back into the game.
It's going to have to be a pretty big miracle now. Like, unless it just walks everything into the Liberator zones. I don't see that happening, to be honest.
I guess when you are this far behind, though, this is kind of the way you want to play it. Just stay back, take the game slow and steady.
Yeah.
You know, build up, expand, and then just hope to take in an amazing fight.
Yeah.
Because it is too late to go on the offense. Like, yeah, the army just isn't there for it. So, yeah, just try to play the catch-up game.
Yeah, there's not a lot of aggression coming out from Eris, though. But I guess he doesn't need to, but it would be good to see him try and take some fights.
It's being frustrating with the little Zergling run-bys. I do love these Zergling run-bys. They do seem very smart in the way they decide when to engage and when to run around. And since they're the fastest unit in the game, they are a big pain to actually kill off.
Are they the actual fastest unit in the game? I didn't realise.
Yeah, I think they're faster than Phoenix.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think even off creep they're the fastest unit in the game. Then they get a speed boost on creep as well.
That's good.
I mean, technically, like when a zealot is charging, it's faster.
Yes.
Than things like that. But interceptors might be faster too.
But yeah, certainly they're not slow.
Nice little pick off. Gets a tank. Nice high ground position here, but with Ravagers, those Liberators will not be long for this world.
No, it is. Yeah, he is starting to push into the main now. Into the natural, rather. Not quite in the main. Yeah, some really well targeted biles down on the Liberators as well.
Yeah, and not just killing the Liberators, but like weaving his way between the Liberator zones.
Yeah.
It's something, you know, one of those things that just a bot can excel at, where a human will inevitably take hits when dealing with an army that big.
Yeah, unfortunately, humans don't have the APM of 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I did.
Looks like he may stabilize, but again, the classic StarCrafting at what cost?
Yes.
Losing his third base and his entire army just to stay alive versus a 6 base Zerg.
Yeah, you're at 9 minutes in and you're on 2 bases against a several base, shall we call it? 7 base, yes.
Neural Parasite is being researched at the moment.
Yeah.
Mutas is another one of those units that can kind of act like the Zergling. Just kind of run around and harass, and whenever it wants to retreat, it can because they're so quick.
Yeah. And Muta's coming in as well.
I've actually had this issue now with -0 as well with his Phoenix, where my Vikings will never actually fire a single shot at Phoenix because the Phoenix doesn't want them to shoot them. It won't shoot them.
Yeah.
Even with the range of the with the Vikings, the Phoenix are just so much faster of a unit that they can just stay permanently outside the range of the Vikings.
Yeah.
So Mita's pushing into the natural now, making quick work of this mineral line, shutting down yet another base of mining.
Yeah, there's literally no mining at the moment for Anibot. I think we're gonna have to call it there, guys. Eris taking the game back, and we're gonna go to an ace match. So, yeah.
This does give me new appreciation for Anibot, though, like just of how strong of a bot it is, because I feel like fixing up these timing attacks is like a minor change, and then if he does it, he could possibly be one of the strongest bots. It's that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely impressive. Certainly, I know he's put a lot of work into it, and hopefully, I mean, with a few little changes there, like you say, I mean, it's something you could really start challenging.
It's not like he doesn't know how to attack or he doesn't know how to expand. Like all the fundamentals are there, right? He just needs to clean up the build order and the attack timing for these aggressive builds, or play a macro game and expand more aggressively at the start of the game.
Yeah. I'm not really sure the macro game is his strength though at the moment.
I mean, but that late game in game 1 looked pretty decent.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the bio and tank definitely know what they're doing. You can see there's a lot of work in there, and like the BCs weren't doing anything ridiculous either. So,
all right,
I don't know. I'm good to go when you are.
Yeah, I'm just finishing up loading. All right, going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we are in game 3 now. It is the decider, spawning in the top left, coming off of an overwhelming victory. It is the red Zerg. It is Eris, and spawning in the bottom right using a third build now called Anibio. It is the blue Terran. It is Anibot. The last game he did open with a lot of tech rushing the starport, and it did not work out so well. The first game he went for a lot of early marauders, and it did work out well. So I think I like the fact that he's saying bio as a strategy.
Yeah. Also not going for the early barracks.
Yeah, this is odd. I mean, I'm not that up to date with StarCraft 2 meta, but I'm pretty sure the depot opener is not a thing.
So now he's starting at barracks. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind that.
Although there is a pro player named Max Pax, and his first thing that got him to fame was he created a build where he opened Pylon, which sounds so ridiculously dumb, but it ended up being like this powerful build that even like Parting used to win a GSL game with, just the way it worked out. So you never know. Maybe depot is like the new thing.
So on top of going for 0 barracks, he now goes for 3, which is
this feels like it's like my 7 racks all in, right? There's no gas geyser on the way.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is, well, hopefully this time he'll go a bit sooner, because with this kind of build, you need to be in their face from probably a couple of minutes in.
Do you like that he gets the orbital? I've seen Marine all-ins on the ladder that don't get an orbital. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Mules are like the biggest weapon you have when you're going for a Marine all-in. So much mineral income.
Yeah,
Um,
the only difference I'd say that he needs to do with this is like if he could put these barracks on the other side of the map, then that might be a more powerful all-in. But
yeah, and against about like Eris, maybe even move him away from the ramp so
yeah,
he doesn't get that full vision. So I did this thing where I float my barracks and bring Marines to kill Eris when he puts his Overlord in that little Overlord pocket that's always near the natural. So Eris has stopped putting his Overlord in that pocket, which means that Overlord did not get any vision of Annie's base and has no idea that he's against a massive all-in right now.
and he got himself supply blocked for a decent period as well. So uh, this could be good here.
Now, please tell me Annie doesn't disappoint me on the attack timing. I hope this isn't like a 4-racks into an expansion into an armory or
Oh
something.
no, no, you can't expand with 4 racks. Just go for it. Like send those Marines. You can do it, Annie.
So I've actually added an 8th racks to my build, to my 7th racks, something. Because I
Man,
realized with speed mining, you can actually you can afford to build 8 Marines at a time.
wow.
And yeah, he needs to go. This
Go.
is already getting pretty late.
I think he is. It,
Uh,
I mean, yeah, he's.
yeah, okay, there he goes. Because you can see he's already, he's overbuilt workers and he still has 400 minerals in the bank. Okay, so
Yeah.
he's going to expand afterwards. So it's not a entire all-in. It's just a partial all-in, I guess.
I mean, given the worker count, if he doesn't get serious damage here, then I'd say it's pretty much game over.
Yeah, maybe he's just building the command center as a giant supply depot.
Yeah. Well, he is doing quite well. That's 2 queens down and all of his zerglings. And
yeah, no scout out of Eris, so like there's no spine crawler, there's no cancel of the third base. Like he didn't really know how to react to. He didn't get the opportunity to react to this.
No, and all the queens have gone down. The zerglings are coming out. Oh no, that queen is just about surviving. And he's cleaned it up. Wow.
Okay, so
That's.
he killed 16 drones, 10 lings, and 3 queens, and 2 overlords.
That's not too bad.
You know, we were laughing about that command center, but given the damage he did, he can actually turn this into a macro game now.
Yeah.
I think that's enough damage to make a game of this.
I mean, he's still a couple of workers down, but with the mules included, he's probably got more of an income at the moment.
Yeah, actually adding a 5th barracks, and he does have gas production now, so I guess it's just going to be still pure marine, but with some upgrades.
Yeah.
Maybe you get some reactors, I'm not sure.
Just keep the marines going at the moment, I think.
Yeah, these marines are actually going on like a harass pattern. Like some are going clockwise around the map, some are going counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Which does mean his main base is wide open to the Zerglings, but the Zerglings aren't taking advantage of that.
So I'm not sure what the marines are doing over here. They just need to. Oh, now they're attacking in, which is good.
I recognize this pathing from my banshees. What it is like going clockwise or counterclockwise from base to base. So he's, yeah. Some arriving now at the 3rd base of Eris. Going to force some stop mining, kills a queen.
And gets the 2nd queen.
Yeah, I do like that these Marines are continuing to stutter step forward. So they're not just like shooting the hatchery, but they're continuing to stutter towards the queens or stutter towards the drones. Zerglings do mop up the clockwise, like counterclockwise Marines. Now the clockwise Marines are the only ones remaining. But got another 3 drones down. Stopped the mining this 3rd base for an extended period of time. 4 Marines down, actually. Or sorry, 4 drones down.
Drones, yeah.
And a good amount of Zerglings.
But the problem here is Eris still has the advantage and has a decent army now, which he can probably use to mop this up. Those roaches are going to be
economic advantage. Like he's got the 3 bases, but the worker count is basically equal when you consider the mules. And yeah, what's going on for production tabs? So we do have stim on the way. I would have liked to see combat shield first, especially as there's no medevacs.
Got to give those Marines some drugs.
Although if you get some Marines in the mineral line, which you may do with the attack pattern he's taking, then Stim is perfect to be able to chase down the drones and get some kills. Of course, Stim or Combat Shield, they're both pretty far off anyway, so they'll be applying to these fights.
It's not going to be a problem just yet, certainly.
Yeah, Ravagers are in the mix, which, Marines are probably the best unit Terran has versus Ravagers, so
yeah,
still not the end of the world. But I'm a little bit worried about the tech lead that Eris has.
Yeah.
Eventually, unsupported Marines don't do so well.
No, it'd almost be better leaving those Ravagers with Roaches against those Marines. But, yeah, enough blobs of Marines can pretty much take out anything, so yeah.
Ravagers don't really have an armor tag, so there's nothing that does bonus damage to them. And Marines are the best base DPS unit we have. Also, Biles can't really find targets too easily versus Marines. Unlike siege tanks and liberators, Marines can dodge Biles pretty easily.
Yes, yeah, they're one of the best units, obviously, apart from Zerglings, to do that.
Raskrad once again in the third base of Eris, shutting down mining. Able to keep all his drones alive by pulling them away, which is nice, and he does have some army there to clean up the Marines, but still, lost mining time is not nothing. And now in the north, actually killing a whole bunch of drones. Drones got stuck in a bit of a corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
This looks like a pretty close game, actually. The big problem that Anibot has is this nice borrowed Zergling here, which is stopping another command center being landed. And
so here's the play. You put a Marine on top of the burrowed Zergling, and then you wait till you get Bile.
Yeah.
The Bile will clear for you.
You say that, but I'm sure like one of those Ravagers just biled itself.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably would work, actually. But the fact that he's moving out with these Ravagers means that these hit squads that are going around the sides of the map are just getting tons of damage done.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Again, I mean, those drones just can't seem to get away in the north, and I think he's even going to lose the hatchery this time.
Yeah, he's going to clear out the fifth, but the difficulty is he needs to get these bases up, and he's getting a third now, which is good. See Hydra's coming out.
Ooh, it actually didn't get the fifth. There's like 16 hit points on it.
Oh no, 8. Yeah, that's huge.
He chased one drone with all his stim marines instead.
And now it's back up and mining again. I think Eris can probably almost finish this if he just takes out this third base here, because that's pretty much all of Annie's prospective mining.
And he has an oversaturation problem at his bases.
Yeah.
75 workers on 1.5 bases. It's a lot of mining, especially when you don't even have gas.
Yeah. Anibot is hitting a lot of these biles on his own army, though, is the problem. Like, that's something you might need to fix as the natural goes up. And I'm going to call it here, I think. Yeah. It's a pretty good game from Anibot, but sadly couldn't take out Eris. And Eris will get a very, very hard-earned win. But, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, the Ravager squads coming in there are brilliant, but like, there's definitely some weakness there from Eris.
Yeah, but he handled those attacks pretty well. Like, he got a spine and queens, and he split up his army to deal with like the multiple harass points. All things that, if he didn't have, Eris might have just overwhelmed him with the incoming damage. But yeah, that was an amazing series. Very competitive.
Nice. All right, let's another look at our top bot, Eris. This time as we see Sharpened Edge come into the tournament. Sharpened Edge probably not had a lot of updates, like you said, recently, but still very, very strong build.
Yeah, and he's Protoss, which means he has Tempest, the bane of every Terran's existence.
Yes.
Which game? Sorry, which series are we doing? Is it versus Annie?
Eris versus Sharpened Edge. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So not relevant
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
then.
Sorry. Did you have the other one loaded up?
No, I had neither of them loaded up.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So yeah, Sharpened Edge. I'm trying to remember PVZs he's played in the past, and nothing's actually coming to mind. So I don't know. But he's a very well-rounded Protoss bot. So
I mean, Sharpened Edge was around in the days where he was playing against Kagame, if you remember that bot from H-Chuck.
Kagame is like what I based my bot off of almost. It was like the
Yeah.
only Java bot that I could see the source code of when I first got started.
I would love to have Kagame back in the ladder.
Yeah, I think he's available to play. I actually updated him to work with the new maps and stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to get in contact with HX and see if he can bring it back. Let me know when
he's not going to do anything, but he says he's okay with whatever we want to do.
Oh, cool.
The bot's open source. If we want to put him on the ladder, we can put him on the ladder.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're good to run anyway.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Cool. Going in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So up in top left, top right. Sorry, did you want to do it?
Go nuts.
Okay, top right. It is the old bot coming back for another crack at the championship. It is Sharpened Edge. And down in the bottom left, the strong favourite. Coming in after taking a bruising encounter in the first game. It is Eris.
So interestingly enough, Sharpened Edge is written by Infi, who's the author of the Sharpie framework. And despite their names, Sharpened Edge did not actually use the Sharpie framework because it predates the framework. So it might have been the inspiration for it, but
I mean, there's still a lot of similarities between the framework and the bot. So
yeah, I'm guessing one spawned the other, but it's just weird to have the author of the framework not using his own framework.
Yes,
which we wouldn't understand unless you knew the history of these bots. He was able to get up one proxy gateway before the drone killed the probe. Unfortunately, I think he wanted to do a 2-gate proxy, so he's having to pull another probe from across the entire map.
That's not a good start, but you know what? He's going for a 4-gate proxy. Wow. So he will be slightly delayed on getting the zealots out, but to be honest, you can get enough zealots out of 4 gateways. That's not always going to matter too much.
Yeah. I mean, this is a build you're familiar with for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
This is what your bot used to do back in the day.
Yeah. No,
Proxy 4-gate zealot.
Gumby's, yeah. I need to revive that at some point, but I just haven't had the time or motivation to do it. But it will be coming back, don't worry.
But this is with speed mining and
yeah. Oh.
Yeah, he's cut workers, so these zealots will basically he'll be able to do non-stop zealot production from 4 barracks. I don't see any reason they would have to slow down. He could also dump all his chronos over here as well.
Yeah.
But he's not. There's no chrono boost coded into it. Too bad.
Oh, this would be so much better with chrono. But actually, there is, because the first one was chronoed out. So I don't know why it's not chronoing out the second few. But so there's a spine crawler coming up from Eris, so he knows what's coming.
Yeah, no third base as well. And Roachhorn. It looks like it's going to be the answer. But the zealots are arriving now, and the Roachhorn is only halfway done. Well, 2/3 done, so.
Roaches are a great counter to zealots, provided you can get them out in time.
Yeah.
But,
exactly. So both spines go down. One gets cancelled.
Yeah. Oh, and this queen is going down. Yeah, queen gets taken out.
Yeah, unfortunately, one zealot got stuck on the hatchery for a long time. Okay, now it's switched up and is going after the queen.
Yeah.
Wow, this
might work.
I think everyone thought this whole series would be a cakewalk for Eris. He's having trouble with both Annie and Sharpened Edge.
It is certainly not that. One thing I would say is, though, he's not taking out many of the drones. They're all getting down to like 1 hit remaining, and then so he's holding it pretty well.
Yeah. So the drones are tanking the damage and pulling back in time to stay alive, while the roaches in the background just doing free damage.
Yeah.
With that said, he wasn't bringing in the reinforcements, so he has a big chunk of zealots ready to go. Man, I really wish he'd use his chrono boost though.
Yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
he's banking a lot of resources. He could chrono and keep the nonstop production going.
So here he goes with the second wave. But there's enough roaches here to deal with this, surely.
Yeah, there's almost as many roaches as there are zealots. I mean,
Yeah.
There is no spine callers at least, but that's so many roaches on creep, so they can kite fairly decently.
Yeah. I mean, he is getting them stuck in the back slightly, but yeah, he's running out of zealots now.
Yeah, some of them got stuck. That's nice. Interrupting the mining is nice.
I mean,
yeah, these roaches just aren't even getting touched.
Yeah, there's not really much he can do, and now I think the roach is just going to move out and squash this position here.
Yeah, I wonder what it would have been like if that first attack had like 2 more zealots.
Yeah.
If the reinforcements came right in.
If they were chronoed out,
yeah,
it would have been a lot harder.
I think it might have worked.
Yeah. Well, Eris going back home now. He doesn't need to worry too much about this.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, he's got to be a little bit careful because there are those banked up resources from Sharpened Edge. So even if he loses Mineral Patch, he'll still be able to build 4 at a time.
Yeah.
And if Eris is like, it's only got 4 zealots, let me go back to just drone.
Yeah, at that point,
money, right?
It's a problem. But no, I don't really see Eris losing to this now.
Well, the thing is, he's not building more. Okay, there's 1 roach on the production tab, and a couple queens, I guess, is useful as well. But he's building a 3rd and mostly drones and overlords.
And there was a hit squad going across the map, but the Zerglings seem to have decided that the rocks are more important than the enemy.
Well, it's a hit squad on the rocks. You gotta flank the rocks.
Oh, definitely.
Are the zealots going back? Are these map hackers?
I don't know. Like, I mean,
please tell me they're not going to try to attack the overlord in the main base.
I hope that's not the purpose. See, I did see one game on the ladder, which was Eris versus, I can't remember who it was against, but they were both trying to attack the rocks from opposite sides. And, yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like Sharpened Edge is actually going to try to make a macro game out of it. So the lack of chronos did mean at least he had 400 minerals to expand. There's the cyber core down.
Yeah.
Maybe if he takes a really good fight with these zealots, he'll be back in the game, much like the last game we saw versus Annie.
Yeah,
start behind, take a good attack, and then all of a sudden you can macro out of it again.
Yeah, it's always very difficult to macro out of a 4-gate though.
A lot of zealots.
Especially if it's a 4-gate without a cyber core, because you're so far behind on tech, but it's just really difficult to catch up.
Yeah, the fact that drones are faster than zealots is causing a big issue with a bot like
Barrett.
Oh no, finish the queen.
No.
Well, yeah. That unfortunately did not do the damage of the 4 racks attack that Annie did. If he did kill off some queens and killed off like 15 workers, then yeah, I could see him macroing out of this.
It's very difficult at this point. I'm almost willing to call it, if you think so. Or is this a bit early still?
Well, it is a bit early, but yeah. I agree that I don't see a way back into this. He's rebuilding his first gateway now. Yeah. Seems like Sharpened Edge even believes he's lost. Dishwashers really do fun eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, blame the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with theirs. Okay, yeah, I think we can speed this one up.
Yeah.
Maybe slow it down if things get normalized somehow. But I don't see any way back.
So I think Eris is doing more damage to the rocks this game than it's doing to Sharpened Edge. Yeah, it's just going to walk up here and take everything out.
Yeah, big Ravager wave on the way. I mean, Gateway's not even done yet for Sharpened Edge, so he only has a single zealot.
Yeah. That's it, GG.
Sharpened Edge is losing all of his destructible rocks.
That's the real problem.
Yeah.
All right, so it was a good attempt by Sharpened Edge. I did like the idea, but like you say, it's if it was refined just a little bit, maybe it would have been a lot more effective. But so one of the things I'm working on with my new bot is like a two-base seller all in against Zerg, which generally tends to work quite well. And the idea with that is that you get Zealot Charge and the first upgrade with the from the Forge to because that basically deals with Zerglings and
Zerglings, well, yeah.
drones. Yeah, so that's one of the things I have been working on with a new bot. So
yeah, I don't think any bot's actually gone for a Charge Lot Archon build, at least not that I've
yeah,
seen. And it's a very strong composition because
yeah,
and it works out really well with your resources too. You got one unit that costs almost nothing but gas and one unit that costs nothing but minerals. So
yeah.
if you got too much gas, build a bunch of Archons. Too much minerals, build a bunch of Zealots.
Yeah, no, that could work really well. All right, I'm ready with game 2 when you are.
I totally forgot to load it.
Ah.
Okay, here we go.
That does help. But yeah. So,
yeah, I think Chrono Boost might have made the difference. Chrono Boost and bring in your reinforcements immediately.
also, I think the biggest problem was possibly that initial probe got taken out. It was supposed to be building the 4 gateways. So that if that would have survived, maybe it would have hit a bit earlier as well. But,
yeah, maybe. But it probably did allow him to get his 3rd and 4th gateway quicker because he wasn't building Zealots, I guess. But yeah. Like instead of 6 Zealots, if there are 8 Zealots with constant reinforcements, maybe that would have overwhelmed. I'm good to go.
Cool. Going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, spawning in the bottom left, we have the challenger down 0-1. It is the red Protoss Sharpened Edge. And up 1-0 in the top right, so we have the blue Zerg. It is Eris. Doing a little extractor trick to start things off.
It seems to like that. I think with the speed mining, it does actually make a bigger difference as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to open with macro as Zerg. Some of them involve extractor tricks, but none of them are particularly better than just opening hatch first. However, like you said, with speed mining, things change, right? And I think for larva reasons, to keep you from like sitting on 3 larvae, you need to do the extractor trick before going hatch first.
Yeah.
The speed mining is interesting because it changes what Ultima build orders are. I've noticed like I do build orders now that make absolutely no sense for a human Terran, but make sense for my bot because he's bringing in more minerals early game.
Yeah, I think it would make kind of like some of the Protoss Charged Archon, like you were talking about, a lot more impactful. Certainly that Zealot all in with speed mining, you're pretty much getting another extra Zealot there a minute or so.
Yeah. And you can't tech faster because you have more money, so it still takes just as long to get to the charge tech, but you can certainly get more Zealots with extra mineral economy.
Well, you say that, but you'd get the Twilight up a bit earlier, I guess. Yeah, not much.
Well, the Twilight has to wait for the Cybercore. The Cybercore has to wait for the Gateway. And the first Gateway doesn't get down. Maybe a couple seconds earlier you get the first Gateway down, but
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So we're going for a different build here. We are getting a Cybercore, which means not just Zealots. Although...
yeah, double gas, 1 base build. It's going to be some sort of tech and
robotics
is what we're seeing.
Oh. Huh. Okay. So still only 1 base though.
Yeah, I assume this is going to be a 1 base hit.
Yeah. So Stalker's coming out, and I'm guessing Immortals coming out from the Robo. Unless he wants to pick up into a bay.
So when I have seen Eris and Spiny have problems with Protoss in the past, I think it usually comes down to the Immortal living up to its name, just doing so much damage and just never dying. So yeah, if you can get an overwhelmingly good fight to start with, and then just keep on the pressure and Immortals killing everything and regenerating those shields and the hardened shield ability,
Yeah,
Basically be like an unkillable army.
yeah. The ability to just soak up 100 damage without doing anything is pretty impressive.
I just had a flashback looking at this robotics facility. Do you remember all those games where Protoss was like dying in a tournament game and it would chrono out an observer while it was dying?
Oh yeah.
There's so many Protoss mods that did that. It's like, no matter what, I'm building an observer. I don't care if there's Zerglings on my mineral line.
I just wanted to watch
Observer.
itself die, you know, like at least I can scout what my opponent's doing. It's my base. So
Yep. Overlord does go down, but he does spot that there's no expansion base. So we have a lot of units on the production tab for Eris. So
yeah,
just kind of like 1.5 base of economy, which is exactly where you want to be versus someone with 1 base economy. It's like,
yeah,
I have more economy, but not so much more that it's risky.
yeah. So I mean, and the good thing is those Zerglings just absolutely destroy Stalkers. I mean, you can kind of micro them a little bit, which hopefully Sharpened Edge will have.
It's the best unit versus Stalkers, and it's the best unit versus Immortals. And
Yeah.
that's the 90% of the army. There's one Zealot, and then the rest is Stalker Immortal.
Okay, well, now Eris has decided to come for a big Zergling attack on the rocks.
Meanwhile, the push out is also coming from
Yeah.
Sharpened Edge.
So, I mean, Sharpened Edge just doesn't care about rocks, I guess.
He does have a Warp Prism that can give some
Yeah.
warp in ability and some micro potential.
So there's no blink
what
on
we
these
get to see
Stalkers.
is the commitments from the Zerglings. We've seen Zerglings in the past be very
Yeah.
hesitant versus Protoss. I'm thinking back to the humans versus bots series where they just kept hanging out outside the range, but this time they see they can win a fight and they just move the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Sharpened Edge.
So I think we had the Warp Prism there that when the two Immortals were lost, they could have microed the two Immortals, but they had some Stalkers in the prism. So
Yeah, I think they just pick up whatever's dying first.
yeah.
So first 4 units to die get to survive.
So the Zerglings are chasing the units here, but they're better off just running into the main base and killing everything.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like, which overwhelmingly good thing is better? You know?
Yes.
I can kill his army for free, or I can kill his main base for free.
Yeah. No.
The only downside is there's still non-stop Zerglings on the production tab for Eris, so he's not getting ahead economically.
And now he's got
7 million Zerglings.
And now he's going back to his absolute nemesis, these rocks. There we go. Okay, rocks down. Now you need to kill the other rocks. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see this panning out given the composition of pure Zergling.
No, not at all.
And he is squeaking in some drones here and there now, and also taking a 3rd base, so also extending the economic lead.
Yeah, so still no 2nd base from Sharpened Edge. 6 minutes into a game, it's not looking good.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If you gotta have a 1 base all-in build, just stick with the all-in.
Yeah.
The likelihood of opening 1 base for a long time and then transitioning into a victory is so low that you might as well just fully commit to the all-in. Yeah. Unfortunately, the all-in got absolutely crushed by a bot that knew exactly what to do, given what it was up against. Maybe one of those downsides of Sharpened Edge being a bot that hasn't been updated for many years versus an author who has been updating for many years. He's probably seen his build 1,000 times. And
oh, there's more rocks.
I mean, Sharpened Edge does have the better rock killing composition, so you can give him that much.
Yes, yeah, I would go with that. Like, Immortals are pretty good against rocks, but, you know, I mean, Zerglings, they'll get the surround on pretty early. Oh, wait, the rocks win.
Okay, here's something new. We do have a robotics bay on the way. So if by some miracle he got out a bunch of Colossus, that'll make quick work of these Zerglings.
Oh yeah, but
he can't lose his army before that.
I think, you know, if he can get a surround on this army here, then that's definite danger, but no, I think Eris is going to go back to these rocks here. Or no, maybe not. Is he going to come in on the attack? No.
Besides, he can't take that fight, which is incorrect. He can absolutely
Oh,
murder that
yes.
army. That's pulling back
But what he
nonetheless.
really wants is the prize over here of these rocks.
he's doing,
No,
doing a
stay
run
away.
by to get to the rocks. And, you know, losing a trickle of Zerglings here and there.
Yeah. Oh, now he's going for it. And can he get the surround? If he can get a full surround here, then this army is dead. And he does on the Immortals. The Immortals are going down, which is a real problem.
Even without a surround, he'll do so well against this.
Yeah.
Although the Sharpened Edge did back up into a nice little pocket near the minerals, gives himself a little bit of a surface area issue for the Zerglings. But there's just so many Zerglings. I don't even think it matters.
At this point. Oh no, he's backing off. I see some adepts coming in, but yeah, adepts aren't really going to win it for you at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah, better choice than Stalkers, especially if you get the Glaives upgrade, but
yeah,
these versus Zerglings. But yeah, this game is already unfortunately over for Sharpened Edge. He's lost 4 mineral patches. The Robotics Bay resulted in absolutely nothing. So the hopes of, you know, a handful of Colossus shredding like 1,000 Zerglings is not going to be in our future.
It's not looking good for our Protoss here.
One final push. You know, go out fighting, I guess.
Yep. Although Sharpened Edge still will have a chance in the last series of the night up against Anibot.
He did expand too. So.
Yeah.
I say he was down to his final 4 patches, but he did expand.
Yeah.
He's attempting the transition. It's not going to go well, but he attempted it.
I think at this point, with just 14 army and 29 workers, there's not really a lot you can do. I'm tempted to fast forward if you...
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. There we go. Just waiting for the final attack now. And Eris did take down all those rocks, so there you go, guys.
No rocks survived this series. Well, he even takes down the destructible plates at the bottom of the ramps.
Well, they count as rocks.
Oh, unbuildable rocks. That's actually more rocks. No wonder
Yeah. Well, the Sharpened Edge does have a Colossus out, so...
Oh, you're right. You did get to a Colossus.
They are generally pretty good against Zerglings. But yeah, it's too late really at that point. So I guess I may have fast forwarded this a little bit too early. I was expecting the big push, but I think we're going to see the end here now.
Yeah, Stalker's still getting...
Yeah.
Like when Zerg is ahead on units lost by 2 to 1, you know you're in trouble.
It's a problem, yeah, definitely.
Zerg is not supposed to be the cost efficiency race, at least not in the early game.
Although, only lost 75 gas resources. I think that's probably because he's not been building a lot. That's pretty impressive still. Okay, there we have it. Eris taking the 2-0 win. And we'll go into the next round facing up against Benbot BC in the quarterfinals. That should be a fun one. And now there is just one bit of business left for the night. Sharpened Edge versus Annie to find out who's going to be the second player out of this group. Facing...
I mean, it might come down to whether Sharpened Edge chooses his Tempest build or not, because I know Annie-bot struggles versus Tempest. But I think despite Annie being lower in rank, I suspect he'll probably pull this one out. I think I'm cheering for Annie here. Or
Yeah.
I'm betting on Annie.
I mean, like, given his performance up against Eris earlier, like, he took him right to the limit, um, and that was impressive. So if you can carry that on here against Sharpened Edge, it will be a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, so I'm good to go, and you are.
Oh, I'm just loading it up.
So it's number 7 rank bot versus the number 10.
Yeah.
But the number 10 bot has been updated since then, where the number 7 I don't believe has. So
Yeah.
that
Okay.
evens things out some.
Cool. Going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, spawning in the top right, we have the Red Terran, Artificial No Intelligence. It is Annibot. I just realized what Annie stands for.
Yes. Wow. I
All
never
right,
knew
and
that.
spawning in the bottom left. I never made that connection in my brain. It is the blue Protoss. It is Sharpened Edge.
Wow. Yes. So ANI. Wow. We learn something every day. But yeah.
Point hazard.
Yeah. So Annie not going for the two supply depot into bunker this time, into barracks this time.
Oh man, just looking at these cleaning bots, it reminds me of a map from Warcraft 3. So now in Warcraft 3, the critters, to kill it with a worker would take like 2 minutes because the workers just did so little damage and the critters had so much hit points. There was a map that was completely filled with critters. So you'd have to spend like 5 minutes just killing critters before you could even place your original town hall to get started. And
Oh
that was the
wow.
entire map. I'm just imagining like a map full of cleaning bots.
We should totally do that.
Yeah, I mean they're already annoying, so let's just you know, live the meme and bring it up.
Oh.
Sharpened Edge getting a nice little SC.
Oh, no, he doesn't get the FPV. Oh wow. So he's sitting there on just 5 HP.
Oh man, that gives me another bad memory. I never dealt with harassing workers, and Sharpened Edge was the first one to use workers to harass my producing SCVs. I used to lose like 7 SCVs before my first Marine would pop out.
Oh, yeah, back in the old days.
Yeah. You work on the basics when you first get started, but there's always like massive things that you're missing in your bot when you first get started. And for me, it was, you know, dealing with
all those kind of things. Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of a sign of respect when bots do that against you, because it means that they're having to code special things specifically for you, rather than just relying on a generalized build. But yeah, that kind of thing can really catch people out.
You know, and chasing a probe around your base also isn't optimal. So I bet like no one's got it perfect yet, right? You want to protect yourself in a way where you won't lose any workers, but at the same time, you don't want to be needlessly chasing a scout probe.
Yeah.
So you could probably spend like a month working on something as minute as that detail.
Yes,
if you really wanted to,
definitely.
just to get it perfect. There's so many things like that in the game where we have like the good enough in our scripted bots. But
it's never
always
perfect.
Like that can be made. Yeah.
So build macro. Wait, building a macro build out of Sharpened Edge. So that should be definitely not what we saw last time.
So third gate going down. We got a fully saturated 2 bases. Nice, good amount of chrono going into the probes, giving him a solid 3 worker lead. Actually, it's only 2 worker leads.
Yeah.
2 or 3. It's not that much.
And he did actually take out one of the workers, so I think that's put him, with almost unassailable lead.
But even still, like every time you upgrade an orbital, that puts you 2 workers behind. Every time you chrono boost your probes, puts you 1 worker, like half 1 worker ahead. You still expect Protoss to be up by 6 or 7 workers by this point.
Yeah.
I guess you probably chrono warp gate just based on the fact those warp gates are done fairly early.
Yeah, that's always a good choice actually. That does help you get a lot more units out a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think it's actually one of those mistakes that even human Protoss players make. And I think it dates back to Wings of Liberty, when the only build the Protoss ever did was a 4-gate all-in. So people just said, okay, Chrono Boost, you do that for Warp Gate. But if there's no reason to rush the Warp Gate, it's actually like a silly thing to spend Chrono Boost on.
Yeah.
It's better to spend it on your Forge or on your probes or on something, or even on your gateways, unless you need to hit a Warp Gate timing. Twilight is actually on the way, and it looks like Sharpened Ed's positioning himself to take a third base.
Yeah, Twilight and Forge up, so on the way. So it's definitely more of a macro-oriented build from Sharpened Edge.
Yeah, and Anybot's looking pretty solid himself. 3 barracks, starport completing, a siege tank and a cyclone, making for a nice diverse army.
Could just
and
have
third base is put in place.
It could just be a handshake. Let's get to 200 supply and see what happens. But oh, as I say, that's Sharpened Edge. Coming across, there we go. I wanted to jinx it. I didn't want them sitting back and waiting for 200 supply.
Yeah, and this could be good for Annie. He's got a bunker and a couple siege tanks. He is moving out some Marines, which are probably going to be suicided. Hopefully he doesn't move those tanks forward when the Marines get under attack. Actually, the Marines won't even be spotted. Siege tanks just going down.
Yeah.
How's the retreat code for Sharpened Edge? Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got maybe 3 stalkers or so. That's I could have seen that going a lot worse.
Yeah, it's definitely not the worst in the world.
Yeah, I mean, losing 3 stalkers for nothing is not great, but I'm sure we've seen many bots do much worse versus siege tanks.
Yeah, if you see them in there, you pretty much have to go back.
Cool. Robotics Bay is on the way. First medevacs hitting the field.
Yeah, this is something I think we thought out of negative 0 yesterday. When he had the first attack, it's more that he would stay over the opposite side of the map and not let the other bot out, whereas Sharpened Edge is more of like, I'm going to go home and build up a better army now. So
yeah, Terran has a lot of units like that, like siege tanks, liberators, even like planetaries, things that like are amazing when you're already set up, but it's really hard to like push out into something else. So it's if Terran takes that turtley stance, containing him is the best thing you can do.
Yeah, he's also got a lot of like cyclones in there as well. They kind of do the same kind of thing with just guiding backwards and you know, offering
cyclones are mobile enough to break out, but cyclones have other issues against negative 0 in that he's like instantly blinks back the moment you lock onto a stalker, or instantly pulls back the moment you lock onto something else. Anyways, as I say that, the big attack is seeing this third base. Sharpened Edge army is out of position. Tanks are going to be able to siege up before he arrives.
Yeah, this third is dead, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Immortals are nice against Marauders and tanks. He does have 3 of them.
There's the hallucinated Archon.
Yeah, that's soaking up some damage. There's no detection here. But once those Zealots go down, the Marauders might have their way. Oh no, it's actually a close fight. No, I don't think there's enough. I think he's going to be able to hold. Well, reinforcements
I don't know. Yeah, we've got more stuff coming across the map all the time.
But he loses vision on the locks, so the locks actually break.
Yeah, those locks could take out those Immortals, but they're just not in range. Oh, 1 Immortal, 2 Immortals go down, and now we have all these Cyclones just going ham.
Yeah, and he did get the War Prism, which is important, because the War Prism was actually helping break the locks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the War Prism was key to the defense.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a dead third base. Now, this isn't the end of the world if you can somehow stay alive. Oh, there's random Templar here.
I mean, just warping in the Archon right in the face of Annie. That's not going to last very long. No, so yeah, it does look like Annie's going to be able to break through here.
Yeah, those Cyclones did so much work.
Yeah.
And now there's like a tank in the back too, so if you try to push into the Cyclones, you're just getting shelled from behind. Beautiful position for the tank.
Yeah, Cyclones are definitely one of the units that are so much better in a bot world than a human world, just because you can micro them perfectly very easily. And,
Hmm.
you know, perfectly microed Cyclones are an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, especially if you're playing a human with the bot.
Yeah,
As good as Cyclone Micro is with bots, Cyclone like defense versus lock-ons is also ridiculously strong on bots. So
yeah.
just the ability to like pull back the unit as soon as the moment it gets locked on can make it difficult for Cyclones to make any progress.
Yeah. So one thing Sharpened Edge is struggling with is he tends to warp in his units very much in the face of Annie and often gets them
Eesh.
destroyed before they even spawn.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too. Yeah, so just
Yeah,
no army for Sharpened Edge remaining. Like he was able to establish another third, which is fine if Antibot just randomly decides to go home.
but
But he's
this,
pushing the victory.
ooh,
Those Colossus
yeah,
don't look like they have range. Too. No, he never got the extended thermal lance, which makes
no.
Colossus like pretty terrible. You really need that bonus range.
Yeah, the bonus range really does work.
It's like +3 range or something. It's a big amount of range increase.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we're gonna have to give this one to Anibot. Very nice move out there. Sharpened Edge tried his more macro build, um, and it just doesn't work.
But we do know that Sharpened Edge changes its strategy after it loses.
Yeah,
And we also know that it has a Tempest strategy. It's not a good Tempest strategy, but it's still Tempest, and Tempest, I think, might be the key to
yeah,
victory.
yeah, definitely. Tempests against Terran are just absolutely devastating if you get them right. Obviously, if you can get Marines on top of Tempests, they're going to be dead in very short order, but that's very difficult in a bot world.
Yeah. Nothing like stemming forward and just having the Tempest kite back over a terrain
Yeah.
block. It's like good use of stem. Now everything's dead.
And also you are. Seems like dishwashers really do hurt one's knives. Again, blaming the dishwasher.
Well done, Anybots.
Yep.
But only one game.
Needs
There is
one
more
more
we
map
could have acquired.
to push him into the next round.
Yeah, I like the Prison Micro out of Sharpened Edge, but I don't think he has any concept of dealing with lock-ons.
Yeah.
Like he picks up in the prism when he gets weak, which makes sense from the lock-on. But he's not saying like, hey, there's a lock-on, I should back up from the closest cyclone or something.
Yeah.
Because the fight was going okay until those 4 cyclones arrived, and then it was just like, oh no.
Yeah,
Not
it
good
was
anymore.
definitely a problem. But very, very well microed cyclones from Annie as well. So now Annie just needs to find this final little assimilator here. Is he going to come over? Yeah, there we go. GG. All right.
Tier says you can kill critters in Warcraft 3 by clicking on them repeatedly. That's actually true for StarCraft 2 as well.
Oh, really?
You know how annoying cleaning bots are? I actually
Yeah.
set up a rapid fire hotkey just for selection, just so I
Oh,
can
wow.
constantly select the
Yeah.
cleaning bot. I think if you click it like 12 or 16 times in a row, it dies.
Oh, okay. I need to try that.
Yeah, it's a good way to kill critters when you don't have any units.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely a problem. Those cleaning bots need to die. It's the rules.
At least they're 1-hit kills, or probably maybe 2 hits
No,
for
no, two
SCVs.
hits for
But
SCVs.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I try it with probes as well, and yeah, 2 hit kills. And the problem is the zealots can't keep up with them because they're so slow unless they've got charge.
okay, I'm all
Yeah,
set up for next game.
cool. I am good to go. Changing over the capture thing. That's weird. Okay, going in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, spawning in the bottom left, down 0-1. It is the blue Protoss. It is Sharpened Edge. And now time to say the word Terran. And spawning in the bottom right, up 1-0. It is Anibot.
I thought you were going for Teratos or something. That
Teratos.
was just a mixture of the two. It would be the ultimate race.
Well, that Zelnaga race was like a mixture of Zerg and Protoss, so let's just
Yeah,
mix all of them. Make a color wheel of new units.
yeah. Oh, we should totally do that. If only they'd make a StarCraft 3. But no,
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
they're going with the Frost Giant project, which looks really promising, but that's probably not going to be out for a good couple of years yet.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get that, so this is interesting. Looks like Annie is going to go for. Oh, is he going for the gold
Oh,
base?
he
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
CC first of the gold too, not just any gold.
yep. There we go. So it doesn't look like Sharpened Edge is really doing his big early all-ins, which is good. So, this could work out pretty nicely for Annie. Access denied.
That's awesome.
Just reminders of the old Lawnmower Man film. Access denied. Oh. What? You haven't seen Lawnmower Man?
What are you saying? What man?
No, Lawnmower Man, the original. Like, I think it was like the first sort of like VR type game film. It's actually really good. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. Basically, a guy gets sucked into VR. And it's pretty cool.
Interesting. I feel like that that concept has been stolen in many other movies since then.
Yes, yeah, it
Sucked into
was.
VR.
It was
I
really
want
the
to see a
first
movie
one.
where someone plugs into VR and everything just goes okay. Nothing goes wrong.
Basically,
Like an
the
episode of
problem
Star Trek where the holodeck doesn't break.
never gonna happen. I'm afraid.
What? The
Yeah.
safety protocols didn't get turned off? What's happening? They're actually working?
All I'm saying is StarCraft have pretty crap security protocols, or even safety protocols, or whatever. Like, you know, in terms of like safety protocols, as Sharpened Edge would say, run around with a knife. It's fine.
The only series that got the holodeck right was Deep Space Nine, because
Yeah.
basically it was just like nothing went wrong and people only went in there to have sex. Like that's basically what the holodeck would be in real life.
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
do you want to be Sherlock Holmes or do you want to bang that celebrity you really like?
It's,
Sherlock can wait.
pretty much. I think Red Dwarf done that as well. If you ever watched the Red Dwarf series, but
Oh yeah. That I liked.
that was
One of those
brilliant.
British
Yeah,
series that never really made it here, but I found it in reruns and really enjoyed it.
yeah. No, it's one
Fleet
of my
Beacon on the
favorites
way.
growing up.
So this
Ooh.
is the one base Tempest build. The
Okay.
Avanni's improved it all versus the Tempest shenanigans.
I guess we should
Let's
go back to talking about the game rather than rather than other films. Yeah, but no, it's.
Well, yeah,
So,
just like insert same stuff you say at the beginning of every StarCraft 2 game for the first 3 minutes.
yeah, pretty much.
Not much really changes there. Starport is on the way, so even though he went CC first, he's still getting his stack down fairly quick, which is nice.
Yeah.
As he probably wants some Vikings, and actually a pretty good Tempest map. Much like Golden Wall, the whole south side is basically no-go zone for Marines.
Yeah.
So if he just kind of sends them directly towards the main base of Anibots, he's going to have that nice little fallback zone to go to.
Yeah, you've got this nice little slow zone just outside the main base.
Yeah, the slow zone could work against the Tempest a little bit, depending on where the fight happens. But
yeah.
And here goes the Tempest, and they are going straight across.
Oh, this is going to be difficult for Annie to deal with at the moment. There's some Marines out. No real Tempests building though.
Good news is I think this gold will go completely unscouted.
Yeah.
Oh, with the Tempest, where are they going? Oh, they're trying to join up with the Stalkers.
Oh, that's.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Stalkers are going to go somewhere where anybody can actually fight. I feel like the
Yeah.
Tempest hanging out. Yeah, right where it is. Perfect. Stalkers are not going to be able to do much. They will die very quickly, but oh, Tempest.
Oh, they are the ultimate bot unit, really. They're so easy to kite.
Yeah, so we do have a reactor on the starport. Medevac will be the first choice, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting some Vikings out would be a priority.
I mean, it's not a big deal right now. Like, this Tempest is killing one depot a minute or something ridiculously slow like that.
Yeah.
But soon there'll be 2 Tempests, and then soon there'll be 3 Tempests, and yeah, you're gonna have to start getting a response at some point.
Yeah. So what I like is we've got like a zealot down the bottom of this ramp here, so I think there is some units there to fight in case the Marines come up and try to take out the Tempests. But
yeah, second starport is actually being denied, which could be a big deal.
yeah.
Reactor starport is only building 1 unit at a time, which is interesting. I think he doesn't realize he has a reactor on it. Okay, there's the second unit. There we go. It was just weird that one medevac started right after the previous one finished.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's building 2 units, and one of them is a Viking, so that's good news.
That's what he needs.
Yeah, because you can sit here and just take damage for a long time, and the fact that you got a gold base and then a 3rd base on the way means eventually you'll get the Viking count you need.
Yeah, the problem was that first Viking just came out and took a few shields off a Tempest, but really didn't do much.
Yeah, he needs to pull them up. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, one way you could deal with it is just go for a big attack, all in, and you know, the Tempest would be there doing a fancy little bit of damage, but not really.
Yeah, I'm sure the Tempest will come back and deal with it.
Yeah.
Marauders and tanks only do damage for so long until.
So
and he does love his Marauders too.
Yeah.
Not the best unit versus Zealots and Tempests. Alright, Marine's getting off a few pot shots. He gets a lot of hull damage done on one Tempest. That's more than nothing.
Yeah.
It might actually be good for all the Mirages to die, because then Animot might say, hey, I don't need to keep making medevacs anymore.
Yeah.
I really wanted him to see reactoring Vikings, not... Oh man, it's already might be too late though.
Yeah, there are...
That's 4 Tempests with a 5th on the way.
A lot of Tempests here. And this Viking is going after the undamaged Tempest.
3 starports are complete.
Yeah.
Just no recognition of the Tempest threats or like what you need to respond to it. You know, you gotta build the right units, and then you gotta sit back and wait until you have enough of the right units, and then you really gotta charge in.
Yeah.
And then even when you charge in, you may have to change your mind at some point if things go haywire, which my bot does not do.
Yeah, it's one of the most difficult things in the bot world is figuring out exactly when you can attack and when you can't.
Yeah. The other frustrating thing with Tempest is that they shoot from the fog of war. So between shots, you can't even see them. Which messes up a lot of bot logic. So a lot of bot logic is like looking at visible enemies, not just ones you've cached.
Yeah, some of them is like, if you can't see me, I don't exist.
Yeah, or it's safe to stand here, then as soon as you stand there, a whole bunch of balls shoot in your face.
If these Vikings just went after the damaged Tempests, then I think they'd get a lot more success.
True. But then there'd just be one less Tempest.
Yeah, sure.
It still doesn't solve the problem. Yeah. Well, this is a good map for Tempest, so even though this game looks kind of over, the next game could be a completely different story if the Marines can also join the fight.
Yeah.
Or if the Tempests are shooting tanks while the Vikings are shooting back, or something along those lines.
Yeah, so Not sure if there's anything Annie can really do at this point. Like, still has a huge army, and you know, if you were to send the army across, like that would do some serious damage.
The other thing is, I think in Pro Bots we saw Sharpened Edge versus, I believe it was Benbot BC.
Yeah.
And Benbot won game 1. And then in game 2 he faced this Tempest build and got absolutely slaughtered by Sharpened Edge. Just steamrolled, just like this game. And then in game 3, Sharpened Edge chose a different build. So maybe Sharpened Edge, even though he wins this game, he won't even go for Mass Tempest the next game.
Yeah. It's possible. Even still, like, different map would probably be a different result as well. Like, this map is insanely good for Tempests.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so there's two things, a better map or maybe a different build. Or maybe Anibot learns how to beat Tempest with his artificial no intelligence.
No intelligence, yes. Wow, we now know what it stands for. I'm like, everyone's learned something this game. So
it's actually a good... It's a technical description of a scripted bot, I would say. Yes. It is artificial and there is no intelligence.
Yeah. Right, so look at the units, like, yeah, there's a few Stalkers and Zealots, but yeah, it's just these 9 Tempests now on the map. I don't know if we want to...
well, I mean, he is building all Vikings now, so he's building them 4 at a time. He still has a strong economy.
Yeah.
Like, a stronger. So maybe, even though he's just suiciding his Vikings, if he suicides them 4 at a time, it might make a difference? I don't know.
Yeah.
The more of his main base he loses, the more of these Tempests have to move away from the edge.
Yeah, it's not looking good though, unfortunately.
It's not looking good, but I've seen bigger comebacks. You know, things look terrible army-wise, so then the economy makes up for it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he still does have a really huge economy there.
Yeah,
like,
he's got a solid 5 base economy. Even his main base is mining fine, at least at the moment. Even though it's getting obliterated.
Yeah, this is painful for Annie though.
How many Tempests? Oh man, that's so many Tempests.
11 Tempests
so
now.
Many Tempests. 13 Tempests right now. I guess only 10 seconds ahead of you.
Yeah, it's just, you've got an army and he's got lots of workers. He's just not able to just make that decision to just like, screw it, you know, we're going to go and attack. And, you know, I think that would do a good amount of damage.
So remember Eris lost his main base to battle cruisers and then rebuilt elsewhere? That's kind of what's happening now. So he lost his starports, and I think that's actually going to end up being a good thing, because now he's rebuilding them way up in the north. Somewhere where Tempest might be more vulnerable.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be able to overwhelm these numbers, but other than that, I think things
he'll have a
could work out in Annie's favor.
He'll have a good go at it.
In fact, I would say Annie was favored if this were like, if this were 7 Tempests, I would say I like things for Annie.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if he'll ever get enough to deal with this many Tempests.
No, I mean, he's building them 2 at a time, and he's up to 15 at the moment, so, yeah. They've started...
The Marines are getting 1 Tempest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead, but Marines got a Tempest.
Yeah, so
he has... Viking, which is actually good, because that means he's not flying it to its death.
I guess that's a good thing.
What's he building for? He's even building a fusion core. How's his economy? Not so hot anymore.
I mean, it's still kind of even, but yeah.
Well, the gold base is mined out, the natural base is not doing much, so he's kind of on 2 base economy. Yeah. If he kept expanding, maybe. I just don't see him getting enough army to deal with this.
No. Well, there is a fight going on in the middle at the moment, so...
I mean, he'll keep killing stalkers, but stalkers are not the threat here.
Yes. Stalkers are not your problem.
Like, if he could afford to build like 5 Vikings at a time, or to build these BCs that he's teching up to, but he just doesn't have the income.
No.
2 Vikings attacking at once. That's better than 1. Wow, and they did nothing.
I think he's going to get all of his production here taken out as well.
I'm happy to speed up now.
Yeah.
He's down to 2 basic colony.
I think so. The gold base is all mined out, and there's just no way he can deal with these Tempests, unfortunately. Yeah, I think if you're in that position, you just need to take whatever army you've got and throw it at your enemy and see what happens. But
Tempests do kill bases slowly. I mean, these Tempests do, but Blizzard, in their wise decision making, decided to give them a buff of 70% versus structures, and then they sunset the game. So if you got the new Tempest upgrade, you can actually slaughter bases really quick.
Yeah, I don't think Sharpened Edge gets that though. I'm not sure if that came in after the last time we done some real big updates to it. So.
Yeah, and then it's also an upgrade that's only available on the
AI
version maps, so it'd have to be after that as well.
Yeah. So
because for a while the upgrade existed, we just couldn't use it on AI Arena.
Yeah, no, it's not very widely used, I don't think, in the bot world at the moment. But yeah, we
Seeker Missile at least.
Yeah, we have
a whole bunch of orange Tempest killing you instead.
Yep, they're all Dorito dust up. So.
And I'm looking at the stream to see you've already fast forward to the end. Okay.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Game 3. Let me get loaded up here.
Yeah, I think we got to a point where it just wasn't worth watching Tempest slowly chip away at everything.
There's like a breaking point too, where you get to a certain amount of Tempest and it's just unkillable.
Yeah, it's like carriers and things like that. As soon as you get to a certain amount of a certain unit, it's just GG. But yes, we have our second ace match of the night. So
yeah,
let me know when you're.
I think this series is deserving of an ace match between these two.
Yeah,
very closely ranked bots.
Yeah, to see who will make the next round.
Time all set to go whenever you are.
Cool. Going in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, spawning in the top left after just getting murdered by Tempest, it is Anibot. And spawning in the bottom right, being the murderer with Tempest, it is Sharpened Edge.
Yes.
I got Tempest on the mind, if you can't tell.
Yes, I'm sure Anibot has Tempests on the mind after the last one as well. So, yeah, it's going to be tough.
I mean, if there's one thing that is okay for Anibot not to have coded yet, I guess it's Tempest.
Yeah.
Like, you can spend a lot of time coding that and still lose every time you face Tempest, so I put the effort there.
I know that it's a very difficult thing to code against.
It's kind of like one of the reasons why Micro Machine was so unbeatable for so long is that no one cared about trying to beat Micro Machine because it was basically like an impossible task. Why even put effort there? Let me try to beat a bot I know I can have a chance of beating.
Yeah. Sorry. I just have the thing on that.
Oh, yeah. Let's watch it to the game stream.
Apologies, guys. I don't think anything much has happened, but yes. So one thing I have noticed is that Sharpened Edge tends to put his pylon towards the front when he basically wants to go for a Stargate opening. So essentially he wants to get his Stargate as close as possible to the opponent's base. So I think that's what he's doing here.
Well, game 1, he put his pylon right near the front and then built a robo, right? So
I thought like he builds it nearer to the ramp when, or maybe I'm wrong.
I think just versus Terran, he doesn't wall off.
Okay, yeah.
I think in Sharpie the way it decides, or maybe this isn't even a framework thing, but I think I've seen him. He tries to put the structures in places to give him vision of his entire base.
Yeah.
So you can see like Nidusworms and stuff.
Yeah. So that's definitely.
I think that's how the logic works.
Yeah.
What build did we get out of Anibot? What do you say? Marine drop.
Ooh, this could be interesting.
Yeah, especially versus a bot that's like has nothing but a stalker until Well, actually, no.
Yeah,
This is not the Tempest build.
that's got an
So
extra base. Yep.
yeah, he expanded.
So this is a more macro-orientated build then, I'm guessing from Sharpie or
Yeah, so much
Sharpened
like
Edge.
versus Benbots, he absolutely murders his opponent with the build and then chooses something different the next game. Must be on like random selection or something.
Yeah. Uh, so
Now
he's
that
going
doesn't
Rowboat.
mean Annie's off the hook in the Tempest category. I know Sharpened Edge, if it gets to late game, he will transition into that composition. He just isn't going to open the
Yeah.
Tempest route.
So tag build Tech Colossus. Ooh, so Colossus against Marines. That is not good news for Annie.
No.
If he can get the Colossus out. Because Colossus take a lot of time to build, and obviously you need a robotics bay and pretty much everything there.
Of course, you know, with an optimal build, you could be dropping Marines actually about now, I think.
Yeah.
Like just before the 4-minute mark. And right at this moment, there is no units for Sharpened Edge.
Yeah.
However, bots build things a little more generically, so their builds aren't optimized. That said, there's a medevac on the way. Is there any Marines?
Yeah, you
There's
got 4 Marines.
and 3 more on the way. Yeah, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
this will be close
So
to a 4-minute medevac drop.
there we go. Third base coming out for Sharpened Edge. If those Marines come across the map now, that's going to be bad news.
Yeah, it's literally 2 stalkers. It's the entire army. He will have an observer, so maybe he'll react in some way if he sees the army coming. Oh, loading up the medevac.
Full
And he's
medevac
off.
coming up. Yep.
Now, as a typical bot, it probably sees the medevac and says, huh, 1 unit, and that unit doesn't even shoot. Nothing to worry about.
It's fine.
No different than an overlord.
Yeah. So, one thing, there does seem to be like 2 paths here. So,
Warp
yes.
Gate has finished, and now he's warping into more units. So by the time the medevac arrives, there should be enough stalkers to deal with it.
You say that, but they're still out of position. Just coming in now.
Yeah. And the medevac has to get to dropping. Okay, there we go.
Oh, the medevac's running away. Oh, okay, it got taken down. But that almost reminded me of a build we had from another bot a while back. I think it was Beyond Junior from Doctor at one point, and he had a medevac drop. And his medevac drop was basically, it came over, it dropped the machines, and it buggered off and left them there to die. I thought we were going to see that from Annie there, but he didn't quite. But yeah, it was the joke going around at the time was like one of those machine marines had done something to the pilot, and the pilot was like, "Nope, you're all dead. Goodbye."
Yeah. I was actually looking at Alex 007's channel, the Russian YouTuber.
Yeah.
He has a whole playlist I found that's only bot games. I looked at the earliest one, and it had a bot called 3-minute bot, and it was actually doing like marine drops better, or doing more marine drops, we'll say, than any Terran bot that exists today does.
Yeah.
And they're pretty successful. So it's funny to see a bot from like that long ago, like probably at least 2 years old.
Yeah.
Doing things better than some bots do today.
Yeah. No, I think it was 5-minute bot, not 3-minute bot. But
Well,
yeah.
Maybe he was slowed down by 2 minutes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that kind of
But yeah, 5-minute bot was really fun back in the day. I mean, it was the bot that was probably dominating most before Micro Machine started taking over. So, but yeah, it's still brilliant. I can't remember who made it. But yeah, it would be great to have that one back in the scene at some point. So this push does seem to be a bit indecisive, I'd say.
Yeah, I want to see these tanks siege up.
No. So there is a Colossus with this. So this is a pretty impressive army. If you can get those zealots in the front soaking up the damage with the Colossus and the Stalkers at the back, you know.
Yeah.
But
so many zealots, so the zealots are the problem.
Oh, yeah,
There's no marines to do the damage against them, or Voida mines for that
yeah.
matter.
So
They got charge as well.
there is a couple of Vikings that are going to do well against the Colossus, though. But they're getting chased away by the Stalkers. It looks like this third base is going to go down.
They got random Hellbat.
Yeah.
You don't see Hellbats getting killed by medevacs too often.
Well, so the problem I think is he split up his army a bit too much, but he's still got a pretty decent push coming on here. Yeah. Ooh. Some nice shots off on the tank. That Colossus is absolutely going to town on all those STVs.
Yeah. They got tanks on the
Not
high
good.
ground, which is a very nice
Yeah,
position. As long as he keeps his SCVs kind of alive.
yeah. But he's back onto one base.
Yeah, that's the 4-base Protoss. This
Yeah.
is Sharpened Edge's most greedy build we've seen, and his most successful attack combined.
Yeah.
SCV's at least messing with the AI of the charge lock, which is kind of cool. These tanks are in a beautiful position, but what's the follow-up even if they do survive?
Yeah, the problem is all of these FPVs are going down. You've got 80 workers versus 24 now.
Yeah.
And
the tanks go down as well.
Tanks are going down. The Colossus can hit from the low ground as well. Both the tanks go down.
Hallucinate Archon soaking up all the damage.
Yeah. That's what they're there for. I'm an Archon. I was
actually decides like, hey, is it even possible for them to have an Archon? Have I seen any of the tech for that unit yet?
Yeah. It's like the Archon is great. It's like, I am the ultimate unit. I am formed of 2 other units more powerful than anything you could possibly imagine. What do you want me to do? Sit there and take damage for us, please. It's literally its job.
I guess you could also track to see if the Archon appears in your vision, like away from the edge of your vision. If it just appears there, then you know it was created by a sentry.
Yeah. That'd be one way of doing it. So there's a few workers over at this other base, so I don't think that's going to do much though. Yeah. I think that just with no real fighting units, I think we'll call this over. If it's unless you've got an objection.
No.
GG.
Impressive Tempestless victory.
Yeah.
Which is always even doubly as impressive.
Yeah, GG, well played, Sharpened Edge. It will take its place in the quarterfinals.
The game was a little weird. Like I was surprised at the lack of units out of Anibot.
Yeah,
like it was a nice fight out of Sharpened Edge, but Anibot just kind of had nothing when he arrived.
I think it was the Colossus.
Like 1 tank, 4 Marauders, and like that's not an army you should have at the 8-minute mark. You should have a little more than that.
No, I think the problem was the Colossus just took out all the Marines really early, and then those Colossus are absolutely deadly shots on anything sort of like that's not got a load of tank.
And they had thermal lance this time, which is so important.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're like the range of a stalker, which is terrible.
Yeah, so GG. All right, let's take a quick look at the bracket.
Yeah, so Sharpened Edge and Eris move on.
Yep, so there we have it. That's the group stage finished. So we'll move on to the quarterfinals next week. All the authors will be able to update Thursday night at midnight. If you're staying up late on Thursday, is the time. So yeah.
Or if it's the middle of the afternoon, if you live in NA.
Yeah, fair enough. So unfortunately, we'll say goodbye to 4Gatebot, Zoe Smallbly, and Anibot. All good showings, but moving on their show. So it will be Ketrock versus Whalemane in Game 1. Game 2 will be -0 up against Sharpened Edge. Game 3, Micro Machine Spud. That should be a fun TVT. And Eris versus Benbot BC.
So I'm just getting the bracket on my ends here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Spud's made some improvements, so I'd like to see him versus Micro Machine. That'll be interesting. Benbot always shocks Eris somehow. Like either
Yeah,
knocks him out of a tournament or almost knocks him out of a tournament. So, and I think what we saw in last series is that Benbot is still actively getting better.
yeah, it's
And
definitely
we saw some
alive.
new stuff out of him last series.
Yeah, I'd say that's possibly the most likely to see an upset there. But generally speaking, I think we've got four sort of like clear favourites, but there could obviously be upsets.
Yeah,
And then,
Whale means a huge wild card as well.
yeah,
He's got some killer builds. It all depends, if you have the right reaction and if he gets the right race because he's random.
yeah. So yeah, and then obviously we'll have all four quarterfinals next weekend, and
Oh god,
then
that means negative zeros on my side of the bracket. Oh god.
yeah, that could be a very interesting semi-final. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. There's a
Yeah.
PvP to come.
Go Sharp
Uh,
and Dudge. His lack of updates will definitely take him through.
yeah, and possibly a Micro Machine Eris as well in the semi-final matchup.
Yeah, that'll be nice as well.
So yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, so one other quick announcement: we've obviously started sign-ups for the next season of the ladder. Um, so we will be starting that tomorrow. I think we've got quite a few sign-ups on there now. So let's
So you were
check
able
that.
to fix that issue on Curious Minds?
Yes, we've updated the Curious Minds map. The old map is still available. We will be playing the tournament on the old map because
Yeah.
it's just easier for showing replays. So there's going to be a bit of fuzziness around that. But we will have both versions of the map available to download, so you can always see old replays and new. But yeah, there is definitely more. All the creep spawn has been fixed on the new Curious Minds map. So
Awesome.
that's on the maps on the new thing. So yeah, we'll hopefully be starting the new season at some point tomorrow once we get a few more sign-ups, I think. But yeah, so I will immediately after this be opening up your directories so all the bot authors can re-upload again. And it should be the same settings as last time. If you've got any problems, just let me know. And that's everything. So, Kedrock, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And
See you games again.
yeah, we'll see you all next week for the quarterfinals. Catch you later.
All right. See you guys.
All right.
All right.